I'm calling us the Caucasian sensation now. Whenever we
But there's already. What about the Caucasian sensation?
we replaced them.
You replaced them.
Who's opening though? Who wants to open? Me or you?
I can.
All right, you got it.
Or you want to do
I
it?
suck at intros,
You
so
are
you
in the middle. It would make sense for Kid to
alright.
do it.
Do it, bro.
Sure.
You're in the middle. That's facts.
You said Button Check podcast.
Button check podcast.
Button Check.
Bottoms.
Not bottom. Huh? Sure.
Ready?
Yeah. Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Button Check podcast. This is a podcast where we're going to talk about a lot of crazy things in terms of Texas Smash, but the big one, Route 512, happening at the time of recording tomorrow. But you know, obviously, you guys are going to see this way later than Friday night. I'm SSD Kid, joined by Bobbles, Mustang. I looked at the text. That's crazy.
I was like, bro,
Great
where
start,
you
great start.
going, bro?
Wait a minute.
Which
bro.
way you
Great
going,
start.
bro?
Obviously, you know, if you guys follow Texas commentary, Texas Smash in general, you know, the three of us are no strangers, you know, to the commentary headsets. So obviously, it's a great time. We're here in Austin at Nightlife, where you know, obviously, you guys are watching. This is exactly where we are, probably on the other side of the building. So.
Yeah, good old Hideaway Bar and Grill here in Austin, Texas. One of our favorite venues
Food is
for
so
locals
good,
here.
man. Food is so
Banger
good.
venue.
This is Reverie season, baby. I am so excited. Of course, a few of us had to kind of knew about this before it dropped. It's kind of sneak peek. Joey would give us little hints here and there. It's Reverie's back, but it's going to be a whole new system. And this time, no, you can't get in by your merits. You got to earn every spot, man. And that's why I love it. It starts here. First two. We'll see, man. We'll see. It's going to be a bloodbath tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, this is the first of three that, you know, we're going to actually talk about before the event as well. I believe Houston is one that's also going to be covered, and I think maybe San Antonio. I'm not 100% sure yet. Obviously, you know, this is something that's provided to us by EXE. Joey and the team hard at work. So,
Absolutely.
You know, he's been traveling everywhere, you know, just looking for venues for these events and for these qualifiers so they can come to a city near you. Obviously, the first one, the inaugural one for this third Reverie campaign, has to be in the capital in Austin, Texas. You already know what it is. But
Absolutely. And if you're not familiar with the qualification process for Reverie, the road to Reverie is going to be multiple regionals scattered across the entire state of Texas. Top two finishers of each event will get an automatic invite into Reverie. No, like Kid said, no merit-based qualifications here. You win and you're in. Another thing to keep in mind too, though, all these events do count in towards you qualifying for Reverie's vote-in process, which does require a top 32 at a regional in order to be considered eligible. So if you're not up there with the top dogs, the Mute Aces, the Shaddix of the state of Texas, but you're a consistent threat, this is also a way to get yourself in and on the map and notice for the campaign season to get those last 6 spots for Reverie.
yeah, anyone can get in. Anyone can get in if you're good enough. That's the beauty of a
Invitationals, man. Yeah, exactly, man. But yeah, let's start to talk about these top 8 seeds, right? Who do we think is going to get in, and you know what do they have to do to get in? So I think we got to start out with there's no stranger. I think everyone's heard of him a little bit. Mute Ace.
I don't know who is that.
He's just some up-and-coming Peach player. You know, he's got a few good combos. Kind of making waves recently. Yeah. So no Shattuck here, right? He's not attending. That's a huge factor for him. One of maybe his only quote-unquote consistent challengers.
Yeah.
So let's look at his bracket a little bit. So early on, you see J Smash, great Kazuya player, Houston, now Austin kind of transplant. Could give him runs for his way, but man, he's so good at that matchup. We see him do waves with that one. Suit, as you mentioned, the new number 5 in Houston.
Yeah.
Elaborate on him. You know, talk a little bit about him. I feel like a lot of people don't know about him.
Yeah, so like, I mean, a year ago, Suit was pretty much all but unknown, right? He's actually a student at the University of Houston, where I actually, you know, coach all the Smash teams and pretty much oversee all the Smash operations. And, you know, he's someone that kind of came in, you know, would go to the weeklies in Houston and, you know, go 4-2, 5-2, you know, ninth place, you know, maybe a close set against, you know, someone at the PR level caliber. But over the last year, I mean, he's one of the, definitely one of those players who, the play style definitely can be a little bit controversial, it's, maybe a little bit too aggressive sometimes, and it goes unpunished a lot, which is sometimes why you see maybe those results thrive. But he is, to give him all the credit, he is one of the hardest workers I've ever known. That man is playing constantly. So definitely, like you said, earned a spot in the top 5 of Houston. But yeah, let's talk about this.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, man, that's
All
crazy.
right.
Look, if he's gonna be listening to
This
this.
is not my idea.
This was
I'm gonna
no
preface
one's
that.
idea, but
Listen.
no one on the couch we talked about this, certainly, right?
Yeah.
This is something that I think will probably be in conversation for a while.
Austin Com's got hands.
Yeah, Austin Com's
That's all I got to say about that.
We
But
play-
I was going to say, but which Austin commentator has top 32 at a regional? That's all I'm saying.
Me?
So, wait, you
Mustang,
have?
Mustang
Yes,
has,
the
yeah.
other heartbeat, I got 13.
I haven't. I haven't entered
Anyways.
a. I've entered
Anyways.
since lockdown. I've entered 1 regional, and
Okay.
it was set count.
Yeah, we're all going to stroke each other's
Let-
egos.
let-
We already
anyway,
know what it is,
let's
man.
just brag about our
Ideally,
results.
going back to the bracket, Mutace,
Yeah.
of course, uncontested first seed, probably everyone's everyone's favorite to claim one of the 2 spots.
Yeah.
I will say, if I could put my 2 cents in on this path, obviously, Dominus is round 2, a very good game to watch. We got a taste of him at Cityscape earlier in the week. Very competent player. So Mutace is going to have a good string of players right out of the gates, and of course the qualifier into top 12 against Austin's favorite son.
Yes.
I would say Tenny.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely true.
Which I will
yeah.
note real quick before you go is normally in these qualifiers into the final part of bracket, it's only the winner qualifies. But in this one, only the loser both qualify into the top 12, which is actually kind of really nice. You do, because the round before, for example, let's look at Tenny Memphis. That's going to be a banger set.
Oh, yeah.
I
Honestly,
agree.
that will be a banger set, and winning that set gets you into top 12, and you can kind of rest a little bit, even if you have to deal with Mutace, right?
Yeah,
So
and
that's
honestly,
something to note.
it could be a little chaotic. Dittos are kind of an insane kind of type of game. If Memphis gets in and, Peach hits hard and those Dittos, you get one hit, who knows how he can go, right? I think that would be an interesting mix-up if Memphis were to get him there. I could actually see something happening there realistic, because Memphis totally hidden Boston, Texas, a Peach player. I think maybe it was ranked for the first time DFW this season,
Yeah,
but
that's exactly
normally
right.
was just laying under the radar. But if you play this guy, he is very good.
It'll be interesting to see too. Of course, there are a couple close ones. One of the old gens of Texas, especially South Texas, Commander is going to be here too.
Oh, yeah.
So
Commander, yeah.
we could see him definitely make some
Yeah.
waves. Suit Broken obviously is the 16-17
Yeah,
seed.
either,
Yeah.
either or could get
And
it.
it's
That
what,
could
and
go
I,
either way.
and I also want to talk about the semis projected match. So unironically, me and Bubbles did commentate Mute DJ Jean in LTC. It was one of the wackiest sets ever,
the
because
longest set I've ever
the
commentated.
longest set,
technically.
we had a lot of
From
dead
bell
air
to bell,
because
longest set I've ever
Mute
commentated.
tested around 30 controllers in the set alone. But DJ Jean was challenging him. It was a very tense set. Mute did close it out, but I know DJ Jean wants that rematch. He's only been getting better. I think 9th at MomoCon, off the
Yeah,
top of my head
yeah.
recently. Obviously, dangerous C player. Obviously they used to have Yanni, and now
Trey
it's
Five,
Trey 5, and now DJ Jean
And
kind of.
I would say DJ Don has, I would consider, a pretty favorable run up into the qualifiers. He's got a Houston bracket of after he plays Mute Spetta, he's got either this guy, Zeus now,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Cisco into EBK, who is now a German word I'm not going to even try to
Yeah.
pronounce.
It changes this tag literally every week.
All the
It's
time.
good, bro.
I'm of course excited to see Spritzy
Oh, that's gonna
make
be
a
the-
run.
Oh man,
The-
Spritzy stocks are so
They are
high right
so
now.
up
They are,
right
if
now.
you've been if you joined in on the Spritzy stock market a year ago, you're rich. You can buy, 10
AMC
Teslas.
levels of stock.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
AMC levels of stock.
The-
Obviously,
yeah.
for those of you who were living under a rock and didn't watch LMBM, beat the Buzz. The Buzz is one of those players who literally just does not get upset.
That's facts.
He does not get upset, especially
Just-
that early. So the fact that we saw that was actually kind of crazy. Oh,
sneaking it in there.
what
Damn.
you dropping? Look at that. Look at
Oh, I see. I know what you're referencing. Now.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, his consistency is unrivaled. So the fact that Spritzy was able to do that is so impressive. And we haven't really seen him at the Texas regional level very consistently. Now he's starting to travel more. I think he's a transplant from New Jersey. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's part of the new guard of West Texas as a West Texas transplant myself from the olden days to see. especially Lubbock, the city he's from, both LCU and Texas Tech, the two universities over there, really start to pick things up. There's a lot of talent coming out there, and obviously, there's a lot of dirt and dust over in West Texas, so you don't really see a lot.
I was there last summer. I can confirm.
Even event-wise, they don't really have much of a platform to really kind of showcase themselves. But I think you plot a lot of even just Lubbock's top 5 or West Texas top 10. You transplant them around, they could definitely scrape in and get some good dubs. So I'm hoping for the best for Spritzy, unless I play him, of course. In which case,
and in which course, I'll actually cheer for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Spritzy, I've never heard someone that hated him more than me. That said.
That's facts.
I'm gonna be a certified hater.
I'm gonna get hit by 7 Toon Link backers in a row, but it's okay.
That's one side of the bracket. Obviously, the winner's side of things. That's something that's probably way more predictable, to say the very least. Obviously, the players that are the top seeds. We talked about Medias, we talked about DJ Don. Obviously, Atomic is also in the picture. Skinny the Pooh, I believe, is also in the picture, making winner semis most likely. Which both of those players have also been on rampages. We will get to Atomic in a second, but obviously Skinny the Pooh, obviously MK Leo win, 3-0 fashion. In pools at Rise and Grind, huge upset potential from this guy for sure.
Yeah. If he comes in on a good day, because I would say like Atomic is the one holding the second seed of the tournament, so he's at least projected to claim that other Reverie spot, provided Mudace also doesn't go down. Yeah. But I mean, Skinny's shown that he can compete with Atomic. He can compete at the top levels, so he's. There's no saying that Skinny doesn't walk away with this, that DJ Don doesn't walk away with a thing of.
And one thing I'd like to see develop from Skinny is consistency, right? Because we've seen him at his highs when he is flowing, when he is hitting hard. He, like we literally mentioned, can be anybody in the world. He has some bad lows though. At times, getting 13th at regionals or even lower. Sometimes he kind of has kind of sporadic. So if he can kind of for this Reverie kind of tour per se, maybe get some consistency, I would love to see that in his results.
For sure.
As a development, right?
If I'm a betting man, I'm willing to bet that we might see that consistency because Skinny, originally a San Antonio, Texas native, moving to the DFW Metroplex area for school. And DFW is kind of one of the most inconsistent cities in the sense of you could win a Shockwave and then go 1-2, 0-2 the very next day. If you're able to, and Skinny has cemented himself as the top 5 in that region, and if you can consistently place well in that region, going everywhere else, it feels like a cakewalk.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that mid-high level of DFW is super stacked and diverse. You're getting hit with a lot of different matchups. And the ones that are common are kind of out there. Obviously, they have a bunch of Robs, some DLC 2s here and there, but even things like Mega Man and stuff is pretty common down up there too to be prepared for. I mean, but
there's people like Pete Bro, who's actually going to be here this weekend. Obviously, Anamanaguchi, no stranger.
He's been fast rising, by the way. I expect I expect an upset.
I saw that man's Smash Bros. Now Matchbox set count prior to the reset. I'm pretty sure he was top 5 most sets played. On the entire app. That dude
I'm in a double shot with him. He'd be playing doubles on the side too. I'm like, damn, bro. How are you a godlike music producer, artist, and a grand Smash grinder, bro?
I will say, out of any spot in the to make it out of pools, out of these things, the person playing Skinny I think is the most competitive. It is currently the seed is Toes, but I think anybody from that little quadrant could make it out.
That is such an interesting map.
Let's talk about that real quick, because honestly, this quadrant right here, we can talk about honestly for the rest of the time. Obviously, Toast, that's the San Antonio Classic, right? One of the team kills. Dark Angel seeded to play against Skinny the round before the qualifier, and then Velta seeded to play against Toast. Obviously, Dark Angel, has really good runs. He has been claiming on Twitter that his Young Link is cracked, but I don't know. I haven't seen it today yet, so I don't even know if we're going to see it at this tournament. But obviously, you'd be a fool to count him out. He's such a talented player. Kyle, who has to play the round before, is also another player who's been leveling up from the DFW area. Then on the bottom side, we had Velta, Skeleton. Obviously, they're all fantastic players in their own right.
Skeleton is a landmine, bro. We saw what he did to Goblin. I hope you didn't see that set because it was should not have been shown on stream, bro.
I gave people odds on a side bet for that. That's how confident I knew it was gonna happen.
Skeleton can get either 17th or 3rd at this event, maybe even 2nd easily. He is the hardest probably player to predict, just from the nature of Kazuya, right? But man.
Fun fact on Skeleton, obviously, he was the highest placed non-invited player for the last Reverie.
Right.
That's true.
He had such
Right.
a killer run last Reverie as well.
Absolutely.
So
Got in through the campaigning process, and I believe what did he get 4th?
Dawn on the final day. Dawn
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
final
I
day.
think top
Literally,
5,
like
yeah.
the last 30 seconds, just barely edging
Yeah.
out Velta, which was crazy to say the least.
He's gonna want to be back. He's definitely gonna show out his cards there, man.
Much harder this time around, though. You're going to have to really,
Yeah.
claw through, which feels like, in Texas, the Kazuya matchup is something that we're starting to learn
Yeah.
a lot more now, right?
Absolutely.
So that's something to definitely note. But obviously, Skeleton, very talented player in his own right, for sure. And
Yep.
his dad always coming around supporting him, which is really nice to see for sure as well. Like
Yeah.
the Smash dads, Smash parents, it's really great to see all those guys come out,
Absolutely, yeah. Smash Parents gonna be out in full force tomorrow too. A lot of them are gonna make the drive over. Let's boys. We've seen the big bracket. Let's hop on over to the projected top 12. Obviously, we talked about the winner's side being Mute CJ Dawn and Atomic Skinny the Pooh. But if we look at we've got the 4 players here. The first 4 out of the top 8: Waltz, Velta, Memphis, and Renegade. Do we
Two Texas PR level players not even seeded to make top 8 at this tournament. That's crazy.
It's
Like,
absolutely crazy.
That's actually ridiculous. And Velta is another one of those. Velta is one of those special players to me because I feel like, maybe we haven't really seen that like regional threat, as prominent as compared to maybe someone like Doofus, who you seeded to lose against, or other Houston players who come out and they go crazy. But Velta, has some pretty high highs, placing top 5 in Houston PRs in recent history as well. So definitely a talented player in his own right. When he's on it, he is definitely on it. Also, actually really smart individual. Sometimes we see him commentate pools at these regionals, and it's great to have his insight coming in, because he's like that one, like higher level player.
Yeah.
So they have the insight, but also he's also had the experience of piloting multiple characters. But
For sure, yeah. I've heard rumors about the Velta Diddy and things like that popping up too. So
Memphis as well, like we talked about earlier.
Memphis is also kind of crazy. Renegade always probably one of the more consistent, like in terms of like the top 10 to 15 players in Texas. I think one of the most consistent. Like you can never count on that man to like have a bad bracket at a regional.
Snake will always throw a wrench into things, man. That character does something to people, man. It makes them fold immediately, brother. When Snake gets you in his trap, like, he can make a great one. Toast. We haven't really talked about Toast. Obviously, fast rising star in SA has been every year just been getting consistently better, and he's been getting more comfortable at regionals and can definitely do it. I mean, this road is definitely doing it. Toast beat Waltz at Reverie.
Yeah, that's true.
Game & Watch. Joker, I heard, is very good for Joker as well. Joker Steve couldn't really comment much on that one, honestly, at the top of my head, but very, very doable for Toast to get into there.
We could definitely see Skinny and Toast switch completely as well. Because we talked about that earlier.
That's
right?
true, absolutely.
In the initial bracket phase.
Yeah, and especially because it's been probably a bit since they've played each other too, so it'll be interesting to see kind of they're meeting back up again to play. Skinny's got his new DFW knowledge. Toast has been working on his own to see if those two hopefully cross paths. We get to see kind of where they both progressed since the last time they both played together in San Antonio. Do you guys is there anybody not in this top 12 projected wise that you think could make a really deep run, like a dark
Skeleton, man. Skeleton is just that guy. Like, he's gonna make the run. Like, he has been on his grind. Of course, he does have occasional low lows, like, Skeleton. It's the nature with Kazuya. You're a very polarizing character. When you're put in disadvantage for super long, if they are playing it right, it does feel bad. But if he gets on a roll, if the momentum is rising, he will beat anybody in this bracket besides Munes. Like,
absolutely.
It's just so he's my number 1 pick. I think we mentioned Memphis before. Those would be my 2 picks.
Gotcha.
For sure.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I definitely see Dark Angel finally coming back. Obviously, he went through his I'm gonna go Joker at all C-Stat events, and I don't even think he was on the PR. So that went well, right?
Yeah.
but he's a great player. Obviously, when he is locked and loaded with the Toon Link, definitely formidable opponent. Obviously, the talk and the hype is around Spritzy based on recent history, but Dark Angel's been holding it down. We have seen him kind of climb, regional to regional to regional, being at Reverie as well. So one of those other players who's going to really want to make sure they make the most out of their opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, he played great at the second Reverie as well. I mean, I think all his losses were Game 5. If not close, the Lima set was God. I remember that set.
I was there.
That was absolutely wild. Beat C3 that tournament.
I was watching that in my hotel room because I was away at work on that.
I
was like glued to the screen.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously a fantastic player. The Toon Link Rise is not what I expected and not what I wanted, but here we are. We are in this renaissance of Toon Link in Texas.
Yeah.
It's
What about
great.
you? Who do you see?
Well,
who do you see,
fellas, if
cracking?
I could pick two myself, my first pick is going to be Sewer Person.
Oh, Super
I
Person.
believe, obviously the Steve factor is there, and I think that in a scene, in a top-heavy scene like San Antonio, where everyone's talking about like their top 3 to 4, where it's always like Mutace, Toast, Renegade, and Skinny, who kind of like hogged all the attention.
Yeah.
Super Person's always been up there with them, even ahead of them in some instances in the PRs. I think they have. If I'm looking at this bracket correctly, I think they've got a pretty favorable bracket for themselves. They are seeded to lose 2 Waltz for 13th, but I think it's very doable. I believe they've had some good sets before, so I definitely think they're somebody who to keep an eye on, because if they get ahead of Steam, I can see them cracking in there as well. And then if I could pick an Austin player to get some of my bias in there, I think I'm going to go with Studs.
Yeah, Studs,
I think
man.
Studs is going to be either Studs or Little Bro.
Ghost of Austin PR past. If
Yeah.
I do say so
Yeah,
myself.
Stud's always consistent, but man, his duo of characters, Sora, Yoshi, so strong, man. Both just kind of improving in the meta as you go on, and yeah, he has one hell of a counter pick arsenal at his disposal there.
Yeah, and I agree. I don't think there's someone. I don't think a scene really has both characters at that level. Texas used to be crawling with Yoshis. We used to be we used to be Jurassic Park. Every city had like 2 great Yoshis. Now, a bit on the fall down. Of course, the Sora 2, pretty uncommon in the state of Texas. So could catch people by surprise, but I'm hoping he's on his A game for Saturday.
I want to mention one more thing, man. I did see Scythe in the bracket. Scythe had the most amazing Texas Reverie qualifier run last time around.
Interstellar 3.
Interstellar
in
3.
Houston. Yeah,
You will not see a more magical run than that guy had. The wins he got in such a short period of time. Do you see he's going to fight Atomic? That is a rough matchup in winners, at least. But if he can just get it gunning in losers, man, nobody knows how to fight good ice climbers. You think you do, and then it's happening to you, and you're like, what is going on? The tournament nerves. You die in 2 hits to a grab.
Yeah,
And-
absolutely.
Yeah.
Obviously, Scythe, we maybe don't see him as highly seeded, as highly touted as we have in the past, mainly because he's been exploring other characters, like he's been playing a ton of Sheik, but definitely when he decides to lock it down and play ice climbers, all of C-Stat will come out of the woodworks and screaming that he's climbing, all that good
Wrong
stuff.
climber.
He
is
Wrong
climbing.
climber.
Yeah. Shouts to the C-Stat fan base. They are ride or die for their players. I will say that. I can respect that.
Perfect. All right, and I think to wrap it up, then we'll go one by one. See who are your 2 qualifiers for this event. Who's taking the first 2 seeds of Reverie?
Sure.
All right, I'll start things off. Gotta give it to Mute. I wish I could be different, be the cool, edgy pick. Come on, man. He's the lord of consistency in this state. He's going to get it done. For my second pick, man, I got Spritzy, man. He's just going to continue that run he had in LBM. The dude just plays amazing. He's got a new level of confidence. I think he's going to bring that to Texas, and I don't think anybody's going to be quite ready for him. So, yeah, those are my 2 picks for sure.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, again, obviously Mutace is going to be listening to this and just going to be like, yeah, I'm that guy.
I am that guy.
Obviously, you'd be a fool to count Mutace out for
You'd
sure.
be an absolute
I will say, though, I can see either Atomic or Skinny, just playing to their seats 2 and 3. It kind of really depends. Obviously, we've seen Atomic kind of lock in the Raw pretty much for every matchup except Bayonetta, right? We've seen the Joker come out from time to time. I'm actually curious to see, though, if, maybe one day he's going to explore Joker for some of the other matchups that, maybe are probably okay for Raw, but maybe wants a different change of pace.
Right.
Him and Skinny have probably played a ton in DFW also, so if they play each other for that qualifying spot to make grands, probably on loser side, because you have to assume Mutace is just going to make it through winners, right?
Yeah, make it through
but
winners.
I feel like maybe we might see some of those, character counterpicks coming in
Yeah.
from Atomic. I'm not really 100% sure. Obviously, Mario Joker's really bad for Joker.
Yeah, that's another
But you
thing,
never
right?
know. But so is Mario
Yeah.
Rob, to be fair. Like, Mario's one of the few matchups that Rob has that, can be a problem.
Yeah.
So, we'll definitely see both. But honestly, if I were to give one of them the edge, I would probably say Atomic is just going to hold it down.
Yeah.
He has been in this position before where he is like one of the top seeds at a tournament, and I think he's going to keep going.
His playstyle is so consistent. Him and DFW, he does not place outside of top 3. Like, I can see him continue to do that. I do think he'll need to raise his level a little bit just for this tourney. Maybe go a little bit beyond his normal level. But, yeah, I mean, you got to get him in there. Bro.
Yeah,
Are you going to be the edgy one? Are you gonna be the?
I
edgy one?
want to come in and just sit and and just throw chaos in here and be like, oh, this is like the DJ Don Atomic show or something like that. But I feel like for the first, I feel like it'll get less predictable the further events we get along. Mutace is gonna obviously gonna claim his spot, almost guaranteed here. I would say both of the two that both I think Atomic and Skinny both are pseudo locks for qualifiers as well, especially one in Dallas, one in San Antonio. Like that would be their times to shine out. Excuse me, and get that spot. So I am just going to say Mutace and Atomic as my picks. I think I think they're the safest bet. I think they're both pretty difficult to upset. Their floors are pretty high and their ceilings are even higher. We've seen Atomic go through, take out some top 50 players recently as well. AK among them.
Yeah.
Part of me does want this to be thrown into absolute chaos. I want to sit down for TriCast for top 8 and just be like, and this bracket just be a dumpster fire, because that's what would make it fun.
Bro,
I can make the research and I can be like, okay, we can expect this like skinny Atomic losers finals, Spritzy Walton sevenths or what have you. But like I want to sit down and like, all right, what's our loser 7th match? It's Renegade like a suit or something like that, something crazy. And I'm like,
disgusting.
perfect, great top 8. I just throw my phone out the window and we have ourselves a good top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you guys said, the qualifiers will get more predictable later on the road once like players like we all think Mutace is gonna make it through. Like once players like at that level, the Mutace, the Shattucks, the Atomics, the Nikos, maybe the Beastlies if we see them at every qualifier, then the qualifiers will get way more interesting as we go a little bit further down the line. But for this first one, I feel like there is a sizable gap between maybe 3 and 4 seeds and then everyone else. So, but it's gonna be nice to see, potentially if we can get some upsets going on, like you said. And then, like Bob was also mentioned, you are going to see the 3 of us later today at time of recording tomorrow. But you're going to see us later today for top 8, top 6, obviously depending on how everything is going. We're, super excited regardless at the end of the day, no matter what happens. We're just excited to get to talk about Smash. I'm excited to get to make the drive over here to hang out with you guys.
Yeah,
we've talked about it all the time, Roost on Wednesday nights, we've talked about it, it's going to be so
Shout out to Roost.
Yeah, shouts to Roost for sure, man. So, but yeah, no, it's going to be super fun. Those are kind of like pretty much all the different qualifiers or favorites to qualify. But we do have not just 1, not 2, not 3. We had 2 last year. Now we have 5 different regional qualifier events, and there has been talks about a 6th one. West Texas also trying to throw their name in the hat as well.
They have said that we left out half the state, and
Oh my.
I do want to say, as someone who's been in West Texas, you can leave some of that state out. It is dirt.
You heard it here first.
There is nothing but dirt.
Roll the tape.
You breathe. You go 2 steps into Lubbock. You take a deep breath. You get mesothelioma. I'm telling you right now. I will agree. There is talent if they're putting it out there.
Absolutely, no question about it.
And it would be nice to get something. I think for at least somewhat in the ballpark for El Paso to get out to. We've seen Mr. Newport get into Reverie.
Mr. Goatport, bring him back.
So and
there's a lot of
there's a lot of talent out there, and I mean all getting something in like Lubbock or I don't know, Abilene or something like that would at least give El Paso a chance to come out there. There's Newport, Saba, G-Dog, some really good guys out there that I think deserve a chance to try and qualify for Reverie. But we'll see. Maybe that's in the works. Maybe it's not. I'm excited for the Laredo one too because I am praying to the Smash gods that Meme and Joker come. I want Meme and Joker here so bad.
Oh my
so
gosh,
bad.
Those guys. Texas Smash pre-quarantine. It was so fantastic.
The Twins were 1 and 2.
And I say pre-quarantine. Joker just wrecked Shattuck. They played a few months ago.
Yeah.
It was a 3-0 in Grands.
Yeah.
Who can 3-0 Shattuck in the world right now?
Vamos
Not
Meme
many
Joker,
people.
bro.
Yeah. But, hey, this is a special call out to Meme and Joker. No sé dónde están, pero los queremos ver en Laredo. We want to see you in Laredo, all right? I don't know what you're doing. I don't care if you got married. That's cool.
PTO.
Come hang out with us.
Put in the PTO request. Do it now.
Yeah. You have like months ahead of time. But obviously, like we said, Laredo, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, potentially DFW, potentially West Texas. Those are the qualifying cities. So, there's no excuse. You can make it out to any of those cities. Trust me. So, but it's going to be a good time. Obviously, once we get later on, we'll talk about some of those things happening in the near future. But I think on that note, that is probably all the time that we have. We might have gone a little bit overtime, but that's probably okay. I mean, time flies when you're having a good time, just kind of talking, right?
Yeah.
But hey, special shout outs obviously to everyone in the venue. Like, just the fact that you are here supporting EXE, supporting Reverie, supporting Route 512, and most of all, supporting Texas Smash. It is greatly appreciated, and your dedication will not go unnoticed. Like, these events are being hosted for you. So thank you for giving us that chance to come out to these events and support everyone. And let's get singles started, man. It's gonna be such a banger. I'm so ready for all the upsets that are probably gonna happen. But yeah, I think on that note, SSB Kid, Bobbles Mustang, you're gonna see us later for top 8, top 6. It's gonna be a good time though. We'll see how busted the bracket has gone.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah, make sure you keep on track. Follow the socials for EXE Group and for the three of us down here. These guys in the background, but putting in a lot of work making this whole Reverie circuit work. So yeah, we'll catch you guys around. Make sure you keep it locked tight, and we'll get ready for some ultimate singles.